pretty similar. So we're going to begin by warming up. Now, I know this is an exercise that we do a lot, and that is because it's probably one of the most useful, beneficial exercises. So we're going to start with the bubble, but if you don't love the bubble or you need something new, I'm going to give you an alternate option that you can use instead. So first things first, we're going to start with the bubble, and if you haven't done this before, we're just blowing bubbles like this. Now you have to bring a lot of energy into this. You can't go, it's not going to work. So you want to make sure that your energy, everything's moving forward. And you can take a slightly dopey stance so that you're not here, but you're, and it's going to sound like this.
Okay.
You want every note to sound the same volume. We're going to keep going. Now, if you want something different than the bubble, you can sing the letter V. Which will also require quite a bit of energy from you. So let's do a few more. Two more. And now we head back down. Get a good breath. Really anchor that bottom note. Just a couple more. The other thing is you don't want to strain. It's not going to be like, you don't want that either. It needs to feel very free. So keep that slightly lowered larynx so that up. Keep the breath flowing and you're going to be good to go. Now we're going to repeat that same exercise, but we're going to use something different here. So we're going to puff up our cheeks like a pufferfish. And our cheeks are going to be filled with air. So this one I want you to be a little bit more aggressive with. So you don't want to allow your voice to flip or disconnect. You don't want, like you'll know because it kind of feels like you sound like a bit like an elephant when that happens. And you also don't want to go so high that it becomes uncomfortable. So if it gets out of your range, don't worry. You can wait till we begin to descend and join back in. So I'm going to start here. If you're a low voice, you can join me in a moment. And it's going to sound like this. There's a steady flow of air, and it's a lot of work. I'm very engaged at my core. My belly expands when I breathe in. It's a lot of effort. We'll do one more and we'll come back down. And back down we go. Anchor that bottom note. Couple more. Last one. Now I want you to just speak for a minute and notice how your voice feels different. You might feel feels like it's more here as opposed to down here. It's one of those magical things that happens when you're well warmed up. And I want you to remember how this feels. So you can just be like, hey Lisa, how's it going? And just notice how that feels in your body. Okay, so now that you're warmed up, we're going to move on to some more exercises. So these are going to help to build our chest voice a little bit. And chest voice is where we speak from. So we don't walk around saying, hello, how are you today? Sometimes we tend to sing like that. We might go, somewhere over the rainbow, chest voice is where we speak. Hello, how are you today? Hello, how are you today? Somewhere over the rainbow. There's the difference. So we're going to do some exercises to help us get comfortable there. So the exercise I want to work on is going to sound like this. Mum, 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 mum. Now, we're singing the word mum. And I want you to make sure your tongue is kind of attached to your bottom gum and teeth area. You don't want your tongue kind of coming back or up. You want it down and relaxed and forward. And I want you to start practicing the word mum. Mum, mum, mum. Not mum, mum, mum. Mum. That's how we're going to say it. Mum, 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 mum. It's sort of a medium volume. Let's do it again. Mum, 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 mum. Mum, 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 mum. Mum, 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 mum. Couple more. Mum, 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 mum. Mum, 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 mum. Last one. Mum, 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 mum. Now, we're going to do that again, but this time I want you to sing it a little bit louder. So this is where we're going to start to build that strength in our voice. Mum, 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 mum. Mum, 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 mum. Mum, 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 mum. Mum, 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 mum. You don't want to be shouting, just mum, 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 mum. Mum, 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 mum. Mum, 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 mum. There you go. So it's feeling good. We're waking up. We're building some strength. We're gonna move to another exercise. Voice is sort of feeling like it's dropped lower. It sounds a bit lower in pitch, and you might be feeling it a bit more here. So just be aware of that, and we're gonna do a couple rounds of the bubble, and then we'll notice how that feeling has changed. Watch this. Ooh, stay energetic with it. We'll head back down. Now, say something. Notice, if you feel it right away, everything just feels like it's lifted a bit, and that the sound when I'm speaking, it feels like it's kind of more here, coming out my eyes, as opposed to dropped down here. So just a really cool way to kind of reset everything so that you're ready to do more work. So let's go on to the next exercise. All right, so this is one of my favorite exercises. We're going to be singing the word bub. B-U-B. So again, you want to make sure your tongue is down and attached to your bottom gum teeth area, and you want to work on very consistent volume. So it's going to sound like this. Bub, 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 bub. Bub, 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 bub. If it gets crunchy in here and you feel like it's going to flip or crack, and so it's like keep the energy moving. So you want to stay energetic, support it through here. Think a little do. See if that helps. And if that doesn't help, you could try the reverse. Ready? It's going to be different for everyone. I find the dopey helps We'll do one more and we'll come back down. Two more. There you have it. Okay, so we've got one more building exercise here. So this one is BUP. B-U-P. And this is a bit of an endurance one because we're going to be repeating this pattern 3 times. And we're actually going to start it up here. So we're going to be going BUP, 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 and then we're going to move down. See if you can join me. Keep the notes short. Just a couple more. Stay with it. That was awesome. All right, I know I told you that was our last exercise, and it was, but we're going to repeat it this time with a little bit more volume. So we're going to start here. We're going to add a little bit more volume, and it's going to sound like this. Support it here. Good breath. 2 more. Last one. There you go. Now, if you're ever confused about what it means